What's going on, football fans? It's me, J.R. Clark, back again with another Pound for Pound ATL OTA edition. We're finally getting some information coming out of Flowery Branch, with today being an open media day. You're getting guys like D. Orlando Ledbetter, putting out videos. Kelly Price, I believe is her name, from Fox, putting out videos as well. So, which is great to see, because, I mean, come on, we need something, right? Need something to look at. Speaking of something, you got like a real nice video of Mariota throwing at like over the shoulder to Kyle Pitts for a touchdown yesterday. That was super cool to see. Hoping to see many of those this year. But let's kind of get into what's going on with the OTAs. Today you heard that Deion Jones, the first time I think the coach has mentioned his name all off season, and he's going to be out for the off season. He's had shoulder surgery. They called it like cleaning up something in his shoulder. Didn't really go into details, not like they ever really do, but he'll be out for the remainder of the off season. I don't know if they're including the training camp as being part of off season. So we'll see if he's back by training camp. But this brings the question of, like, everybody was looking towards that June 1st about whether Deion Jones was still going to be on the team or if Deion Jones was going to be traded. So it'll be interesting to see now what ends up happening with Deion Jones, because if he's missing installs and if he's missing time like that, when he's lost his running mate Foye and been demoted, I guess you could say, from Mike linebacker, like, him missing that time might be crucial, and it might open up the window for a guy like a Mykal Walker to really like nab and grab a hold of that spot and not letting it go. Because one of the videos we saw today was of Mykal Walker going through doing drills, and it was like followed up with a quote about how Pease was excited for his progression and was expecting big things out of him this season. So I personally am of the Mykal Walker hype club. I really liked him coming out of Fresno State for his versatility. I almost likened him to a poor man's Isaiah Simmons back in the day, or when he was coming out. So it'll be interesting to see if he can carve out a bigger role. And now it looks like the door is open for him to do so without Deion Jones being in the mix this offseason. Another shakeup as far as position goes, the ever-evolving running back room of the Atlanta Falcons has gotten even more of a shakeup, with Avery Williams being converted from a cornerback to a running back. It seemed like there was a real logjam going on at the cornerback position over the offseason. It seems like Terry Fontenot did not want to have the same outcome that they had last year with when Isaiah Oliver went down and had to just thrust Darren Hall, Avery Williams, and Richie Grant into that nickel spot. He went out and signed a handful of nickel corners, hoping, I'm guessing, one of those guys stick. Well, that created a logjam at that position with Tabez Taylor and Isaiah Oliver, and with him being back in the fold, things of that nature. So even when Avery was drafted last year, there were questions about, are you going to use him on the offense because of his return ability and his versatility? Well, they seemed to see enough of that to where they decided to go ahead and completely convert him to a running back. I mean, he was out there doing blocking drills and just doing running back drills in general today. So coupling that with his return ability, it would be interesting if he ends up being the Cordell Patterson of the future for us. I know we signed Cordell Patterson to a longer deal, but he is an older back and older weapon, really. So it'd be interesting if in the next year or so, Avery Williams can transition into that offensive weapon role, that chess piece type role. He doesn't have the same size as Patterson, but at 5'11", almost 200 pounds, with real nice return ability, that could be something that they at least have in this offense for years to come. Another addition to the running back room today was announced that Jeremy McNichols was signed. Now he's bounced around early part of his career, but he spent the past 2 years in Tennessee. One of those years with Arthur Smith. Decent third down back. Hasn't had a ton of production, but that kind of goes with where the running back room is at currently. So I think the door's wide open. Like I said in the other video, the door's wide open for Tyler Algier to come in and be RB1. I know Patterson's going to be there, and he's considered, probably going to be considered at the top of the running back depth chart, but I think it's been alluded to already by the coaching staff that he's probably going to be used more in the passing game than he was last year, and that was due by necessity. But the signing of McNichols kind of signals to me that maybe Olesen doesn't have a clear shot to the roster as I thought he did as the offseason initially started. So that'll be something to monitor there. Now, another thought I had as I was sitting here this morning nursing a unfortunately sick child, gave me some time to read up on some schemes while she was resting. And as something me and Toby have talked about openly a handful of times, a lot of people lean heavily on Smith and the Tennessee background and not nearly enough on the Chicago Dave Ragone background. And I'll be interested to see if Avery Williams, how well he can do on some route running. And what I mean by that is in Chicago, and I'm not comparing him. Please hear me right when I say that. I'm not comparing him. But in Chicago, they had Tariq Cohen, who was the little spark plug. He was the fast, route running, pass catching back out of the backfield. And to me, what Avery Williams kind of represents in the backfield is an injection of speed. That's something that Avery Williams has over the other running backs, which probably is the reason why they want to at least try him there. Again, I know you have Cordell Patterson. I get it. And I think Cordell Patterson is going to give you a lot of that same kind of, in-space explosion. But I wouldn't be surprised if, at least during training camp, you don't see them trying to do some of the similar things that they did with Tariq Cohen with Avery Williams, splitting him out from the backfield. And being really interesting to see packages with both him and Cordell Patterson out there. So, yeah, that's pretty much what you've seen so far. We've heard a little bit of Grady Jarrett, who's at OTAs for the first time in a few years, talking about the excitement in the building, kind of led, added credence to what we were referring to on the show. He did say he believes in a lot of the guys that are in the building. So I think that has a lot to do with why, he was willing to re-sign, because of the talent that was brought in by the front office. So it'll be interesting to see how this defense shapes up, because like I said, without Deion Jones in the mix, whether he's on the team or not, this linebacking core is going to look different. The safety core is going to look different. They've already talked up quite a bit on Richie Grant getting back into his actual safety role. They expect a good leap from Jalen Hawkins, who I am really high on. He did nothing but really make plays last year when he was in the formation, so I expect him to take a nice leap forward in this system. Very interchangeable with Richie Grant. I think either one of them can play down in the box or even that single high safety look. He did that a good bit in Cal. So I'm really excited to see what this team looks like. Doing the research that we try to do here on this channel, I was watching some more Tennessee stuff because I'd spent the morning watching some Chicago games. I wanted to balance it out with some Tennessee games. And even though I'm as diehard of a Ryan fan as I am really excited to see what this offense looks like with a quarterback that can move. Because a lot of times, then the year that Tannehill was the full-time starter, he was able to get them out of jams and keep drives going by using his legs. And it almost seems like the offense is very much benefited by that and tailored to that in a way. It's tailored to like big body receivers, contested catch guys, and a quarterback that can move. It's also tailored to a running back who wore people down and by the fourth quarter was ripping off big runs. I don't know if Algier is going to be that guy. We're going to see same style of runner, just not the same physicality as far as Derrick Henry possesses. But Algier does bring that hard-nosed running, so it'll be interesting to see if by the fourth quarter teams are just tired of tackling him. But yep, that's what I got for y'all now. OTAs, like I said, this is the first real look at the OTAs. Very excited about what we're seeing. Drake London out there going through drills. All the guys just kind of in helmets and shorts, so you're not going to get a ton. But it's good to see the guys moving and in action. As always, y'all can follow me on Twitter. I'm at agrim1128, GRIMM1128. You can follow Toby D at TobyD1991. I'm going to try my best. I've got tickets, so we're going to see, but I'm going to try my best to be at the open practice next Friday, a week from Friday. So definitely follow my Twitter page there, because if I'm able to make it, I'll be live tweeting that kind of stuff. And always keep your eye on the channel as we try to put out good and decent content for y'all to enjoy. As always, Falcons fans, rise up.